Hey, what's up everyone? Greg's Gauntlet here, and I'm still working on my iPad Pro review, but in the meantime, I thought I'd do a video about the 5 things you may not know about the iPad Pro. So with the new iPad Pro, Apple still hasn't adopted a storage solution for the Apple Pencil unless you're willing to spend $129 on its leather sleeve. But I was surprised to find out that the 10.5-inch iPad Pro Smart Keyboard actually has a strong enough magnet to attach the Apple Pencil to. As you can see, I can actually attach the pencil and carry it around similar to the way the Microsoft Surface Pro has a magnet that attaches its pen. Strangely enough, this strong magnet isn't on the 12.9-inch iPad Pro Smart Keyboard. It's very handy for storing the pencil or holding it in place when you're carrying your iPad around with you, although sometimes the pencil will become displaced if it's moving around in a bag. It's really odd that the 12.9-inch doesn't have this strong magnet that can attach the pencil, but you can do it on the 10.5-inch iPad Pro. The third thing you might not know is how much RAM comes with your new iPad Pro. Apple still doesn't publish how much RAM comes in the new iPad Pros. Last year, the 9.7-inch iPad Pro only came with 2 gigabytes of RAM, and the 12.9-inch came with 4 gigabytes of RAM. So a lot of 9.7-inch users were actually really upset by the inclusion of only 2 gigabytes of RAM. And a quick run of Geekbench on the new 10.5-inch iPad Pro reveals that both iPads actually do come with 4 gigabytes of RAM this time. So if you're worried that getting the smaller size iPad Pro would give you only 2 gigabytes of RAM, rest assured both models now come with 4 gigabytes of RAM. Speaking of Geekbench, you'll find that when running benchmarks that the 12.9-inch iPad Pro is slightly more powerful than the smaller 10.5-inch version. They are both using the same A10X chip inside, but the 12.9 is clocked in at a slightly higher 2.37 GHz, while the 10.5 is running at a slower clock speed of 2.33 GHz. This results in a slightly lower Geekbench score of 3,818 for the single core on the 10.5-inch, while the 12.9-inch gets a 3,911 single core score, and for the multi-core score, the 12.9 edges out the 10.5-inch with a 9,227 multi-core score against a 9,039 multi-core score found on the 10.5-inch. In real-world usage, you probably won't notice the difference, but if you want the most powerful iPad Pro, the 12.9-inch is slightly more powerful. The fourth thing you might not know about the new iPad Pro is this isn't actually the best weight and design for an iPad Pro that Apple has shipped. Apple has kept its new 10.5-inch iPad relatively the same size by shrinking the bezels on the side of the device and giving us a 20% larger screen area compared to the 9.7-inch iPad Pro, but this isn't actually the most advanced iPad Apple has ever shipped in terms of weight and design. The 10.5-inch iPad Pro is actually 1.03 pounds, while the 9.7-inch Pro was only 0.96 pounds, less than a pound. It's a small difference, but if you wanted the lightest, thinnest, most powerful iPad design, you can no longer buy it from Apple's website. It's strange to think of Apple releasing a product that isn't more advanced in one area, but for now the 9.7-inch iPad Pro remains the lightest, most powerful iPad ever. So the final thing you might not know about the new iPad Pro is that the new iPad ships with some amazing new wallpapers. I like them so much I've even been setting them as the wallpaper for my iPhone. But one of the coolest looking wallpapers actually isn't available anywhere on the iPad. If you take a look at the white and silver iPad Pro box, you'll notice that this awesome looking wallpaper with some nice water and land at the top isn't actually available for use as a wallpaper on any iOS device. Even in the iOS 11 beta, this wallpaper remains missing in action. It's really strange because all of the other wallpapers and boxes that Apple shipped for its various iPads are all available to use as wallpapers, but this one is strangely missing. I don't really know why. It's a really good looking wallpaper. I don't know if it was an oversight, if this wallpaper wasn't supposed to actually ship on this box. So, I really hope Apple brings this wallpaper to iOS because I personally think it's one of the best looking wallpapers on the boxes. It looks really amazing. Please, Apple, bring this wallpaper to the iPad. Okay, guys, if you liked that video, make sure you give it a like, and if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video.